Deep in the ocean, an orca pod is on the hunt. But these aren't your average orcas. These guys are organized.
Marketing team, did you get those social media posts scheduled for the SEAL migration?
Aye, Captain. We even have an automated notification for all pod managers when they go live.
They use Monday.com to keep their teamwork sharp, their communication clear, and their goals in sight. Monday.com. For whatever you run, even orcas. Go to Monday.com to dive deeper.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Welcome to part 2 of my interview. Hennessy wasn't there. All right, Hennessy was here. Of Caissie St. Onge.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
I read this, that you would create these letters and you had to be funny. Mm-hmm. And he would fix them. And that is how you learned how to write a joke.
Yeah. When I first started doing the letters, which would be really a lot, like a big stack of letters every day, I had to get completed and go through that editing.
What time would you get the letters?
Oh my gosh. I'd be working on it all day and then bring them into him at the end of the night when he had like little else to distract him so that he could read through
if he had a shitty show or felt he had a shitty show, was it a shitty letter writing?
I guess sometimes. I think when he felt the show went badly, it would affect everything.
Right, of course.
Just like even food doesn't taste good.
Right.
That, so.
I can imagine.
So, yeah, we all know how that feels. So, like, maybe it'd be like, this is not a good time. Like, if we can put it off till tomorrow or whatever. But it really was good. Like, he really would get out a red pen and make corrections and really, like, I don't know if they even offer an MFA program in comedy anywhere, but this was like an MFA program, like just this guy who's like a legend and one of the best at what he did, and especially super popular at the time, just taking the time to tell me, okay, I see what you're trying to do here, but you're telegraphing what your punchline's going to be, so it's more effective if you don't.
Right. You don't give it up in the beginning. Yeah.
And this is
Very
what you
important.
did here. It's the rule of 3. It always works better than 2 examples. And just everything I know about how to write a joke is from those years.
Any examples you remember?
There was one really bad one that I've told this story before, and I don't want to incriminate anyone that doesn't want to be incriminated. Oscar nominations were coming out, and the talent department had asked him to write letters to people, inviting them to be on the show, people that we thought were going to be nominated for Oscars. And we were going through the list and, banging out these letters. And I said, okay, we need to do one for Nicolas Cage. And he said, you know what? I don't want to. I've asked that guy a million times. He's like, never wants to come on the show, and it feels bad. I don't want to pressure him, and I don't want to feel bad having him turn us down, so don't. And I'm, of course, like, no, let's try.
Poly-positive, yeah.
Let's be optimistic. Maybe this will be the time. And then, so he was getting impatient with me because I was like, no, come on, let's try it. And he was like, I don't know, just tell him stop being such a blah and come on the show. Right. He had said, like, stop being such a woman and come on the show, which we wouldn't say today, but in the 1990s.
What is that, a woman? What does that mean exactly?
Just like a soft-hearted, sensitive.
Oh, okay.
I think
stop being a pussy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not a joke that we would say today, but in 1990, whatever.
I actually would.
There we go. So,
your dick.
So,
yeah. Stop being a dick and get on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that would have been the same. All right,
so,
better.
Yeah.
More appropriate.
Well, he had actually said what Hennessy said.
Right.
And so I was like, I went back to my desk and I was like, I can't write that. So I'm going to write stop being such a woman and come on the show. Yeah. And so I was like, just brought the letter in a big stack of letters, and he signed it. And then I had this like filing system where I'd photocopy the letters to have a record of it.
For young listeners, Caissie St had to type up the fucking letters.
Yeah, I had to type them on a typewriter.
And then go to a fucking copy machine.
And copy the envelope with the...
And put them in a file.
Yeah, and put them in a file. Yeah. And so...
Remember when filing was part of a job?
It was like a thing. It
yes!
was a huge thing.
Yeah,
and it involved folders.
Yeah, exactly.
And alphabetizing.
And
go ahead. And thinking what
folders,
category these things... Yeah.
So a couple days later, he was like, "Oh, we still have to write that letter to Nicolas Cage," and I was like, "No, we did it already. I think like so many." And he was like, "No, but I said this like sarcastic thing," and then I was like, "Yeah, but then I wrote like a nicer version of it, and you signed it, and we mailed it." And he was like, "What does it say?" So I go and like find the photocopied fucking letter and show it to him.
Is your heart pounding as you're looking for
point,
it?
Because I was like so stupid and I didn't know how idiotic it was. He knew how idiotic it was and that he was not serious. So I showed him the letter and he was like, "You have to get this letter back. You like invoke the assistant's code, get in touch with his assistant, but get it back. I don't want, this is like not respectful and not the kind of thing that I want to have out there." And
all right.
I was like,
where's your heart?
I was like,
stomachache?
Yeah, I was going to vomit. For sure.
I get
Definitely
those. Yeah.
vomit. And so I'm trying to get back this stupid letter that I thought was such a good solution because I'm an idiot. And kids are idiots. And
I'd have cracked up if I got something like that. Like, it's so fucking funny.
Well, so I was calling all around and I finally got someone, I don't know, his publicist, and they were like, anyway, at that point when we had remembered it, it was long received and opened. And so it was like, sorry, too late. Like, there's no way.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, God. So this was after Dave had gone home for the night and it was still like LA time. So I was able to make these calls. So I was just like, I guess I'm going to get in here early and just like clean up my shit and like get out of here. You know, like I'll like have all my stuff. No, I'm sure I cried all night. I'm sure. But I was like, if I have all my stuff packed up, then I could just get him to officially fire me and I can just take my stuff.
So Jeanette, you pulled a Jeanette. We'll tell you about that later. All right.
So the next morning I got in early and I genuinely was like sort of like straightening up my area, you know, child of alcoholic, like
totally
cleaning. So then the mailroom called and they were like, "Hey, there's like a huge delivery for the boss. Can you come and meet it?" And I was like, okay. So I went and like our mailroom guy is pushing this cart and it's the most enormous arrangement of roses I've ever seen in my life, like long stem red roses. And I take the card and it's from Nicolas Cage saying, "You're right. I'm going to stop being such a woman and come on your show."
No way! Oh my God, that's awesome.
So I had to be like, but I was still scared to be like.
So what did he say?
He just was like, "You're lucky."
He was?
Yeah. And then when Nicolas Cage came on the show, he brought the letter like on the show to show. And I was like, oh my God. And then Dave was like, I didn't write that.
Oh, here's Elisa.
Hi, Elisa.
All right, we'll just take this call. Hi, Elisa, you're on the air. Wait, let me put you on speaker. Hi.
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air.
What?
I'm recording my podcast
great.
with Caissie St. Caissie St. Hennessy's here too.
Hi, Hennessy.
Say hi to Caissie.
Hi, Caissie.
Hi, Lisa.
All right, bye. What?
Judy,
yeah.
Ben left his arm, the thing for his cast.
Yeah.
Left at Alma's, and I have it.
Oh, okay. I got to clean it.
I'm sure Alma cleaned it.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Because I got to do the other one too. All right. What else?
All right. Nothing. So what about tonight?
Yeah, tonight I'm recording. Invite Mom and Poppy to come.
Okay, I think they're exhausted, but I definitely will invite them.
Okay.
All right.
Very great talking to you.
All right.
All right.
So fun. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Have
Love
a
you.
good show.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So, have you ever met Elisa in person?
I think so.
Once,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is a fucking great story.
No, I was so
But
lucky.
he never gave it up to you like, good job, Cassie.
No, he was like, that
Stange.
was still
You're lucky that happened.
moronic
Yeah.
what you did, and I was so lucky.
Did you meet Nicholas and tell him that it was you that wrote the letter?
No, I didn't. But yeah, I didn't.
It's a fucking great story, Cassie.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you end up graduating from Fitchburg State. You're living in the West Village with your husband, Matt Debenham.
Yes.
And how did you end your relationship with David Letterman? Because you worked there for 9 years?
No. I was only there for the first 3-something
right,
years
okay.
of the new CBS show. So then Daniel.
Oh, that was CBS.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I was
That's
talking
okay.
about NBC, and I meant he went from 12:30 at NBC to 11:30 at CBS.
Yes. Our friend. Are you friends with Daniel Kellison?
Yes. So Daniel Kellison was an EP over at Letterman.
He was a
And
producer, yeah.
Producer,
Yeah,
and he was the original EP of Rosie.
Yes.
And asked you to.
Yeah, so he.
But as a writer. No, as an assistant.
Rosie's assistant.
Right.
Yeah. So
here you are in this assistant hell, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, he just said he had made a deal with Dave not to hire anyone away from the show, but he said, I met Rosie and I think she'll like you. She's looking for an assistant. It's like a lateral move, but the thing is with the new TV show, things change all the time.
Right.
So whereas they're more set, and I was never going to become a writer at Letterman.
Right. But did you hang out with the writers? A little? Who were the writers on the show at the time?
Rodney Rothman is my good friend, and Donna Carey and John Beckerman and Steve O'Donnell and Gerard Mulligan and Bill Sheft.
Guest on the show, yes.
Yes. So all those guys were my really great guys. Steve Young, all guys though.
What?
Are you noticing
Oh
a
my
pattern? I'm saying
God.
all gentlemen.
Yeah,
all
Meryl had
wonderful.
been a
Meryl, yeah, who I know now, and
I love her.
Such a hero.
Meryl
to
Marco,
me.
please do my podcast. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. So I was never.
Nell Scovell.
Nell Scovell was not there
Right.
at the time, but we've since become
Yeah,
good
she's
friends.
fucking awesome.
She's amazing.
Uh-huh.
So there never was more than one woman at a time. Jill Davis was the woman that was there at the time, and she was amazing. But if there's a Jill
there was
Davis,
always one,
there's not going to be
A Caissie St.
Exactly.
So you go over to Rosie.
Yeah, meet with Rosie, got splashed
Nervous?
by a truck on my way over. So showed up literally like a mud monster.
She would have loved that though.
I was sorry. She didn't even notice. She was
Right.
doing other things.
Right.
Whatever. It
Like-
looks fine. You look
Like
fine.
when we used to pitch to her. She used to be. It was right when AOL Messenger started.
So she'd be very
she'd be at the.
distracted.
She'd be at the computer, and you'd go in with this great, you thought of the fucking best idea, and be like, bro, I have this great idea. We're gonna have an elephant come on stage, and the trunk is gonna and this whole thing. And she's like, and then you hear whatever the sound was, and you're like, fuck, she's not even.
Oh my god.
Okay, good, write that up. And it's ding. All right, but all right, so go ahead.
So I was hired as her assistant, and that was really, really short-lived. She was great, but also at the same time, said kind of really quickly, you are not a fit to be
Right.
my assistant. It's not you're very rigid and I'm much more
Right.
relaxed. And, so to her credit, she was like, let's get you
Another job here
on the show, which I've never, ever worked in another place where they're let's figure out where you fit here.
Right.
You're here. We like you. You're
Right.
obviously smart and capable. Let's figure out where you
Right.
fit. So,
Kudos to Ro.
yeah. So I was made an associate producer for the human interest producer, which was kind of interesting in a way, but not really what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I was feeling kind of panicked.
That's before I got there.
Before you got there. And then I was made a researcher, which I was at least I'll be writing these research
Right.
briefs every day
Right.
and all that stuff. And then I
With
wanna
Perry.
with Perry Moore. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Perry.
R.I.P.
You were the
Perry Moore.
greatest. Yeah.
So yeah, by that time, so I was doing research, and that was also a really
I
short
remember
time.
when you were a researcher.
Yeah,
That's when
yeah.
I came in.
Yes,
because
because
you
this
three
is-
sat at the
Yes.
Lisa and Perry.
And then-
Was Lisa Rechsteiner?
Yes, she was there, and then Karen Midler.
Yeah, that's right.
Filled in.
Oh, Henry calling. Hold on. Yes, you're on the air.
What's up?
Nothing. We're recording.
So, I called you an hour ago.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
I love you.
You too.
Bye. Okay. All right. So
So,
Karen Midler. She
Karen
was,
Midler,
yes, I
yes.
love her. She moved.
She's in Toronto.
I
now,
know.
right?
Good for her.
Sorry to blow up your spot, Karen
Yeah.
Midler. But so anyway, this is what I want to say. This is what maybe your listeners will be interested in. I was a researcher and longing to do more, and I definitely wanted to be a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things that I feel like I ever got on the air is because you were a writer and a producer at the Rosie Show, and you took over for the human interest producer that I had been working for prior, and you were doing this really interesting thing where you were making it about like conceptual ideas and not just stories that we were already finding on the news.
Right.
And so I had some ideas that I felt brave enough to share with you because you're so generous, and then and then like you helped me pitch those ideas and helped me get them on the show. So really like my first sort of writing that, you know, got on TV in a big way other than like a stray joke here or there was because of you. And we did this amazing.
Oh, thank you, Caissie St. So I'm not that bad.
What are you looking at me for? I love you.
All right.
And we did this amazing segment that it's one of my favorite things that I've done in all my career. And it has really informed a lot of the things that I've done and has been like a formula for success in a lot of things I've done. We did this. I had this idea to have kids come up with their fantasy candy bar recipes. And then we were going to have a real candy shop make their insane recipes.
That is so awesome.
And so Judy hooked us up to go meet with all these kids that had written these recipes at this school, and we
went to the school. Yeah, I remember going to the schools. Yeah.
And
so cool.
we were meeting these kids, and they were great, and they were so nice. But we were like, is this going to really be like a good like segment because these kids are so sweet and adorable? And then Judy and I talked for a second, and I think we started thinking about like the kind of kids we were maybe.
Right.
And then we asked the principal, like, kids are amazing. They're wonderful. Can we meet the bad kids?
Yeah.
Can we meet like the behavior
the
problems?
obnoxious.
Yeah. And she was like, really? Like, I'm not sure we want to reward that.
So
and I was
smart.
like, yeah. So we were like, give us like your 10 worst kids and let us meet those kids. And then, so when we started meeting with these kids, it was obvious they're super creative, had huge personalities, too huge for,
because that's what you need for a TV segment.
Too big for a classroom is perfect for television. I'm sorry to say, but that's why a lot of kids that have trouble in school turn around to be performers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we met with these kids that were like maybe a handful for their teachers. God bless their teachers' hearts, but were amazing on television. And it was a really successful segment. I think Rosie had a great time. And we had like one kid that like was allergic to everything, so he couldn't eat any of the things in his candy bar, but he could have like an omelet, which was weird and funny. But the upshot of that entire thing is that I was still a researcher at the show, but Phil Hartman was a guest.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah. Very shortly after that segment had aired, and he asked his segment producer, he said, me and my kids loved that chocolate bar segment so much. Can I meet the person that came up with it? And so this segment producer brings Phil Hartman down to my desk, and like he just hung out at my desk for just talking about it. How'd you think of that idea? Was it fun? Blah, blah, blah. And then he like later sent me drawings that his kids had drawn for me that I had hanging up in my cubicle. It was really, really cool and sweet, and that's all because of Judy.
Oh, Caissie, that's so sweet.
It's true.
Thank you. Now I need your help. Help me. You were a really good writer. You and Alan Katz shared an office. Oh. How's he doing? He seems like he's healthy.
He seems like he's doing really well. I talked to him.
His kids are not perfect enough.
Oh my God,
it's so annoying.
They're also grown,
and they're
he's
so
still,
talented
like,
and smart.
writing all these children's books that are massively popular.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Feel good, Alan Katz. All right, so you are a writer on Rosie. You were there till the end.
Till the end, yeah.
Till even when were you there for Caroline Ray?
I was there when Caroline sort of did the guest hosting and like the backdoor pilot.
Hi, it's Caroline Ray show.
But then I did not work on the Caroline Ray show. And I recently ran into her, and she remembered me, which I was really touched by.
She's a good
And she was
girl.
so nice, and she was like, sorry we didn't hire you on that show. Like, I really wanted to hire you. And I was like, it's okay. She's so nice that she's still like, it weighed on her, that it weighed on her 1%. At the sight of me.
Now, we can cut this next comment out if you want to.
Sure.
But when Bill Cosby was convicted, and I knew about Bill Cosby.
Yes.
And I knew that because of you.
Yes.
Because I know that when you were working for Letterman, you were told do not go to his hotel room.
Yeah, his house.
His house to pick because he wanted to be picked up, or he wanted.
He had something that he had wanted to give to Dave. I want to say it was like a fountain pen or something. Like he's a collector of fountain pens, and he wanted to give him some.
No,
special...
he can stick those up his ass. Yeah,
he wanted to give him some special pen, and like real, guy type stuff.
Right.
And so I was gonna do this thing, and more than one person took me aside and said, like, hey, listen, if he comes to his door and invites you in, don't go in.
Right.
And I don't know where they had that information from.
Right.
But
I remember he was a guest on Rosie.
Yeah.
And I remember that someone saying do not go to his hotel room.
Yeah.
Or don't pick him up at the hotel.
Yeah.
So I mean it was a known, and there were and he had terrible breath, so
Ugh.
I mean, I could say something really politically incorrect, like "Thank God they weren't awake for it," but which I won't say because I'll get in so much fucking trouble.
Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble.
He's disgusting.
I mean,
he's
silver lining.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I have to say, my time I was there for two seasons, and I was the human interest producer. But I was also doing stand up at 7:30 at night. I would ask for the earliest spot.
Yeah.
And then be up at 5. It was horrible. Those were 2 of the happiest years of my life.
Yeah, it really was.
It
was the heyday of that kind of thing. Like companies still had money.
Oh my God, we had so much fun though.
Yeah,
and also, I don't know. I loved that. I mean, I got in trouble, and Alan King told me, I did a thing with him, and he told me, you can't be a writer and a producer on a show. You're a performer. But I also had my hair blown dry. Do you remember the blow dry incident?
What had happened? You got a
well,
blowout?
Terrence really was not. Terrence Noonan. He wasn't a team player, and he worked for me. And I had little kids.
Yeah.
And I had to go home. Like, I would get there. We had to be there at 7.
Yes.
Remember, you had to have jokes written by 7:30.
Yes.
And then at 6, I had to have my kids picked up by 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'd leave at like 5:40. And all the people that stayed till 8 or 9 o'clock, half the time they weren't doing a fucking thing.
No. It just was.
It was like, hi, I'm at my desk. And I was pretty focused when I was there,
Yeah.
Andy Lassner was the EP. There are a lot of things but I loved my job, but I also missed performing. But one day, so there were 2 things that happened. One, there's the first segment called Chuffa.
Yes.
Where she would just tell her stories. And
shoot koosh balls at the
koosh balls.
Yeah.
So that was I had some guests on later, and I was in Rosie's office or dressing room, and David was like, "Oh, you want me to blow dry your hair?" And I said, "Yeah," because it looked really good straight. Yeah. So then that afternoon, I got called in, Hillary and her, and Rosie's like, "You're blow drying my hair while I'm out." I'm like, "You're blow dry, getting your hair blown out?" I was like, "Oh my!" Everyone gets their fucking hair blown. People would go. Bella would go in the makeup room and be like, "Can you put mascara on my?" You know what I mean? Man. I got in so much fucking trouble for having. Why is your hair straight? And I'm like, talk about fucking stomach ache.
Yeah.
So that was really bad.
Damn.
Then we had that whole Vegas situation where she was performing in Vegas and got sick.
She got sick, and you had to fill in.
And I had to fill in.
Yeah.
And then when I filled in, the next week, we were working in L.A. Remember, we were working in L.A.
There a long time.
Yeah, we were there for weeks and weeks. And I filled in for her. And on the show, when she thanked me, she said I only did 5 to 10 minutes. And I got really upset. But they did so many pieces on the thing, like that I had, on E! Entertainment, like, was it all about Eve? And I had no idea I was going to go on. She got fucking sick.
Yeah.
And there were 2,000 people in there. And I was like, there.
Yeah.
And I took over for her. And I actually killed. I actually did a great job. But I did more than 10 minutes.
How did you make her sick?
Good question.
So there was that, and then there was the, Terrence really wanted to be the human interest producer, and he was my PA, and he would do anything to be like, I would have done that. I don't know where Judy was, like kind of stuff. Like she had the quintuplets on who were born on her birthday, and I was like, let's have them every year.
Yes.
And they were one, and she was giving them a house, and she was so generous. And they were in the upstairs. We shared the dressing rooms with SNL, so they were upstairs, and the door was closed. For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And no one came to get us for the closing segment 7, where she has a birthday cake and all the guests come out.
Oh my god.
And I got fucking screamed at. And Terrence was like, I would have had them there. I was like, all right, Terrence. Anyway, it was just a whole bunch of...
It was like a big family, and there was...
Yeah.
And there was the annoying little brother.
Yeah. But we love Terrence.
All kinds of drama. There was very many annoying siblings, of which I'm sure I was one.
No, you were good.
Cosby was a creepy uncle.
Then you leave.
Yeah.
We end up working together
at this
fucking crazy. So we were on a show together. As I got hired as a writer.
Mimi Pizzi must have gotten us these jobs.
Yeah. I love Mimi Pizzi.
Yeah.
Not Jewish, but she great girl. So we get this job working for Jarrett Allegra. And it's Life and Style with Kimora Lee Simmons, Lynn Koplitz. Not Jewish, but has a Jewish last name.
Jules Asner.
She was on the show.
Asner.
Lynn Koplitz.
Someone.
Lenny Kravitz's sister.
Oh, okay. Cynthia Kravitz?
No, something else.
Looking it up.
I'm so
all
sorry,
right, but
Cynthia.
Jew. Okay, and this is like 2004-ish, 5, 6?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah.
And I get a job, and I, to this day, have problems.
Cynthia Garrett.
Hi, Cynthia.
She's
Hi,
his
Cynthia.
spiritual sister.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Not
I thought
Jewish.
I literally, this is the first time I'm finding out that they're not like biological siblings. I really thought that they were.
Yeah, well, they look exactly
siblings.
alike. All right, anyway, I have so little recollection. All I remember of that job is never knowing what time to be there. I shared an office with you. You really helped me out because I was like, what are we writing? What are we supposed to write?
It was weird because it wasn't
weird.
like a comedy show.
But
so
I felt like you knew what the fuck was going on. You're like, Judy, you got to write this. You're going to write this intro. It wasn't comedy. It was like, and then I ended up helping Leslie.
Yes.
I just edited the funny into the videos.
Packages,
But it was good because she would be like, meet me in the editing room, and then I could take a nap because I was
and
always
Terrence
tired.
worked there too.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, I blocked it out, but
So
I just remember
strange.
our office. We had a lot of candles and I farted a lot.
Yes. And it's kind of like a subterranean office. Not the best place to fart.
Right. And Jarrett had a fucking, treadmill in her office, and I was so jealous. But, so we would get up and go there, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
That went on for that was at Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like 9 months.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, the show
And I was
wasn't
like, Caissie
sure what
knows
it
exactly what
was,
she's
and
doing, and I'm such an ass. Like, I felt like, how does Caissie know what the hell to do?
You just have to
fake it.
You just have to fake it and realize that there's like an hour to get filled. It's going to get filled with something. Try to fill it with the best thing that you can. But I'm with you. I have so little memory of actually one of my strongest memories there is Paula Deen feeding me a piece of fudge backstage and then telling me it was like Velveeta or like Velveeta fudge. And I was so offended because that's a mean trick, Paula Deen.
Yeah, Paula Deen.
Yeah, but I can't even remember I know there was a lot of drama behind the scenes at that show too.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's how it is.
It was because one wasn't showing up and one was jealous of the other. It was fucking ridiculous.
It was weird. And
it was like The View, except everyone was 12 and in middle school.
And too early to start.
And like having a bat mitzvah every day.
You don't start fighting. You don't start. You like each other first.
You and then,
and then eventually.
Right.
So that was like classic rookie mistake.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with a Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
So, after you leave there, where do you end up working?
Oh my gosh, I just worked at so many places. I worked for Jeanette Barber
Right.
on her Food Network show.
Yes, we love Jeanette.
Christina Deo. That was called Lighten Up.
Right.
Which was really interesting. That was something I had not done before.
Right.
I worked on a cooking show and just like a bunch of stuff. I wrote commercials.
Yeah, you wrote.
for,
Wait,
like,
I have commercials for ice cream and cell phones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You wrote the book Jane Jones, Worst Vampire Ever.
Yeah, that's like a
which is a
YA book.
Yeah, it's good for young adults. And or as Hennessy, I do my own research, and Hennessy also does research.
Yes.
And I take whatever and Hennessy writes James Jones. Okay. And I wrote back, it's fucking Jane Jones.
You don't know. You don't know.
That
Jane could be James.
That would be good. I would like that. Yeah, so just anything, like, because while I think things are getting better, I think that was like a particularly hard time for a woman to, like, if you didn't get that one woman job that was designated. And you must have felt this a million times.
Oh my God. I mean, it was for stand-up. There was only one woman on it. It was horrible.
And if you don't get it, then you know, and you have to like feed your kids, then you have to write a commercial for.
I did 2 one-person show. Like, it was like you have to create your own shit, you know? So, and you have 2 kids. You have Eli and Lincoln.
Yes.
And you had them while you were at Rosie, and Rosie had a daycare, which was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
She did some amazing things.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
Fuck you, Trump, you fucking piece of shit. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, amazing things, and still, it'd be.
He's her biggest fan, though. I mean, he truly is.
If it weren't for him,
nobody follows her as closely as Trump. Nobody.
Well, he's just so jealous.
He's obsessed with her.
Right, because she's, she doesn't look like his fucking cunty,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just so odd how obsessed he is with
she
her.
can challenge him. Whatever.
Well,
it's fine.
I think it's like, I think it's. I think
she's not afraid of him.
She's not afraid. She says what she thinks. She's been at it a long time. It's not just, she's not a Johnny come lately hating him. She's hated him for a long time.
We all have.
But specifically, it's just so interesting.
But I also just think sometimes it's just like he just loves the drama because it's for like ratings, and he thinks as long as anyone's talking about him, he's a trash fire.
So you move to Connecticut eventually.
Yeah.
And then you get a job working on with Andy Cohen. Yeah. How did you meet Andy Cohen? How did you meet Andy Cohen, and why can't I ever do that fucking show?
You've been on the show
once. Please, I'll do anything.
I'll put in a good word for you on my way out.
I mean, I think he hates me. Do you think he hates me?
No, I don't think so at all.
Because I was at Michael Patrick King's Christmas party.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it anymore because he sold his place. But and Andy was there, and I felt like it was one of those situations at a party, like this is a kill me now situation where you're like both in the same area and no one's talking to either of you. So you're kind of like, I'm like, hey, and I was like, I love him. And I was like, talking to him like, how the fuck do you ever fucking sleep, right?
Oh my god.
And he's like, and whatever. And then thank God someone more famous than I'm D-list, someone A-list came over and was like, hi, and
here's the thing I'll
say
I'll say about Andy is he doesn't really hate anyone. Like even
maybe Kathy Griffin.
No, I don't think he even hates her. I just think it's like a weird situation that like got out of hand.
Right.
And everybody probably has their own side of it. But really, I think he still kind of weirdly maybe likes her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't hate anyone. Even people that I've seen be nasty about him. And really, he could really hit back. And like sometimes he'll make a joke or whatever. But he doesn't really take it to heart. He's always trying to think of like, and maybe it's like from working with the housewives or whatever. He's always trying to think of like where a person was coming from.
Right.
Like I've never had someone say something nasty about someone and that person like take it in, not only not get mad, but be like, well, I can see their point of like not loving me because XYZ and, and whatever, like go do your thing.
Right.
It's really kind of weird and like a actually great lesson.
Right.
Like he always says about like sometimes when you get frustrated that somebody is like, really wants to tell you this information about something, like he will say people just want to be heard.
Right.
If you just hear somebody out and hear what they're saying, they'll already feel 100% better that you just listened.
That you just, because you're not blowing them off.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you're validating
and
them.
yeah, so he's super easy to work for, and just really is. I think he would say that he's not introspective, and he's always making a joke that he's shallow, but he's really not.
I can't imagine doing what he does and being shallow, because you really have to get the essence of the people you're.
Yeah, and he's super, super sharp, and he's a super sharp interviewer, and he really likes a huge amount of the stuff that is being.
I do Sandra Bernhardt's show all the time.
Isn't she so great?
I love her.
That.
I love her.
I love it.
Can you put a good word in?
Yes.
I'll be the bartender again.
Yes.
I love bartending there.
Yes.
I just need a little bit of attention.
Of course.
For my gigs. I got a lot of gigs coming up. I have an album coming out, so
There you
All right.
go.
Anyway, so you worked with him. Did you start as a producer?
Yeah, I started it's been almost 9 years now. So it was a web show that he was doing, and they were gonna try to bring it to television for a 7-week trial. And the show that I had been like a co-EP and a writer on that I really loved had just been canceled. My friend was the host, and I was
What was it?
It was Best Week Ever with.
Oh yes, that's right, on VH1.
On VH1, and so I was really kind of bummed. And my friend Jennifer, who was working at Embassy Row, Jennifer Kelly.
Oh, I love Jen Kelly. How is Jen Kelly?
She's so great.
She's still really skinny.
Yes. Still beautiful. Perfect.
I love her. Will you say hi?
I will. Yes.
Sorry.
So she was working at this Embassy Row company, and she was like, we're going to try to do this show. It'll tide you over till you find something else, like 7 weeks. And so I got hired on it, and then 9 years later, here we are.
So,
but also the funny story, like at the end, like it's the end of 7 weeks is like rolling up on us or whatever.
Right.
And Andy had a joke where he'd like call me Taffy, like because he'd pretend like Caissie, like he could never remember my name, so calling me Taffy. And so we're like 5 weeks, 6 weeks into the 7-week run, and he goes, Taffy, I know we just met like 5 weeks ago, but it really feels like longer, and I really feel like I've known you a much longer time. And I was like, well, we have worked together 2 other times.
I might have to call you Taffy now.
And he was just like, what? But like super good natured about it. And I was like, we worked on another pilot, and
that's cute.
Whatever. It wasn't about me.
But you love the job, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It just sucks you're out late. You gotta take the train home.
Yeah. They send me home in a car, which is so
nice. That's fucking
so
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
I get a ton of work done. But it is like just the weirdest.
But you get to see your kids come home from school, right? Or no?
No.
Okay. No. So you're an absentee mother, like your absentee father. But you have your stay-at-home writer dad.
Yes.
And your kids love you.
I mean,
and they're very independent.
Yes. And dad works too.
Right.
But just, we see each other when we see each other.
So you, we were talking earlier about being bullied and bodies, and you have been very outspoken about your issues with weight.
Yeah.
In a way that is so personal and yet so relatable,
Thank you.
That it's something, it's really incredible the way you've taken, even like I read a post about Oprah, when she became a spokesperson for Weight Watchers, and the fact that you grasped at even fucking Oprah, even one of the most accomplished, creative, intelligent, has issues with her body and her weight.
Right.
And it's such an empowering place to come from.
Yeah.
And you should be applauded for that.
Thank
because it's so easy to hate yourself.
It's easy to hate yourself, and it's one of those things, like so many of us, and I think it's, if we could try to be understanding to each other, we all have things. You're talking about being bullied about your height and, talking about being different. It's one of those things that you just carry with you.
Right.
Like, it's no secret that an overweight person is overweight, or however you want to say it. It's not a secret. You carry it with you. The secret is how much people who that isn't the circumstance for think they understand and think they know the code, because that isn't, it's like when I always laugh when people ask, like, incredibly wealthy, successful people, like, what is the secret to your success? And they say, well, never give up on your dreams. And I'm like, yeah, it said the person whose dreams like came true.
Right.
But like, ask the guy who's still delivering packages, when he's trying to be a rock star.
Right. Or doing stand-up sets because she can't get a fucking television show.
So it's very easy for someone who doesn't have that problem to be like, all you got to do is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't even, you can't even know. You can't even, so.
And also, I have to say this, 99.9% of my friends who, are overweight and then lose weight, gain it fucking back.
Yeah.
Like, your body is your body.
There's science that says this. Like, there's a certain amount that you can do, and I think for a certain amount of time. But science says, like, it's hard. It's a nearly impossible. It can be a nearly impossible thing to conquer. People that do it, it's great. But people that can't do it, like, what are you gonna just live your whole life like hating your fucking self every minute? Like, I always. That Edgar Allan Poe story, The Telltale Heart, like where he murders someone and like buries. I'm like, that's what being overweight is. And imagine it's like what a lot of things are, like being gay, or it's just like a fucking beating heart under your floorboards. And it is the rhythm of your life. Every minute you're like, I have a paper due. I'm fat. I have this crush on somebody. I'm fat. I'm hungry. I'm fat. I have to get to work. I'm fat. Like it's every other, you inhale something and exhale.
Oh, please. Every fucking day.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a lot of like, it's not only,
it's a lot of brain space.
It's a lot of mental weight that you're giving to something that like, what?
Doesn't matter.
What?
It doesn't matter. You do what you can do and that's it. And you're beautiful. I mean, look at that fucking face. Seriously. I hate you. This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself. You can process and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it and you sit there and you wait. And then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. So, you've also written for Bet.
Yes.
As I have, but I never say anything. You're pretty vocal about
everyone.
it. I know, you're vocal.
Well, I never said anything about it, not too much, but then when I wrote for her tour with Nell Scovell and Bruce Valanche.
Wait, hold on.
Bruce Valanche.
Okay, Nell Scovell, Bruce Valanche.
So excited to meet and to finally get to work with Nell after hearing so much about her from her Letterman days.
Right.
But I never really said anything because I was kind of like, it was very casual, like arrangement.
Right.
And she never said not to say anything, but I was like, let's not say anything.
Yeah.
But then she put our names in as writers in the program for the tour, and people kept tweeting it to me.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I guess the secret's
right.
out.
That's awesome.
So-
Kornfeld did too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
And also this guy, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but Doug Abels?
Doug Abels.
Doug Abels?
Doug
Okay,
Abels,
okay.
yeah.
So, he worked
He
on that
he
tour
sublet
as
my house in L.A. when I had a house in L.A.
There you go.
with his
Small
now
world.
ex-wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great.
And you wrote for Joan as well. That
Yes,
was
I miss her.
I can't like
Yeah.
when that for me, because a Jewish girl from New
Yeah.
Jersey, like I knew her from the moment I could think.
Yeah.
Like she's been a part of my
Yeah.
life, and then that memorial service,
Oh my God, killed me.
kill. Laughing hysterically, crying
Yes.
hysterically, laughing hysterically. Yeah, it was,
Yeah, it was such a. It was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Cassie, you're working on a new show.
I am.
How did that come about? Tell us a little bit about the show.
Okay, this performer who a lot of you might know if you're fans, especially of this show Freaks and Geeks, which is like a cult classic.
Yeah.
Gone too soon. Dawson's Creek, and many, many other, bazillions other things. This performer, Busy Phillips, who is...
Love her. Follow her
Do
on Instagram.
you love her?
The
Yeah,
best.
she's so great. I actually know her through like friends of mine, just other performer friends, and have gotten to know her a little bit over the years. And just one day she like called me on up and was like, "Hey, I got a talk show. Do you want to come work on it?" And at first I was like, "That's probably not going to happen because you live in Los Angeles.
Right.
I live in New York. I have this long-term job." But then she was like, "Listen, it's being produced by Tina Fey's company. Can you just come in and tell them a little bit about what it's like to do a talk show because
Right.
they've never done a talk show before?"
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, sure. So I went in and met with this guy, Eric Gurian, whose name you'll recognize from 30 Rock and,
Right.
and Kimmy Schmidt. And just talking to him. And I really went armed with like a list of women because I always have my
Right.
agenda.
Of which Judy Gold was not on the list. Go ahead.
You don't know.
I
You
know.
don't know.
I know.
A list of LA-based producers and saying like these women would all be great if you're looking for someone. And so we just had a really good meeting, and then I met with Tina and Eric, which was super cool to just meet her.
She's the greatest.
So great. And then just eventually they were like, all those people that you mentioned sound great, but you sound great to us too. And wouldn't you just want to do
Right.
it? Wouldn't it be fun and to work with Busy? So yeah, I'm like leaving in a couple weeks.
Good for you. You gotta take these risks.
Yes. I think it's, I will miss my family at Watch What Happens Live
What's
so
the
much.
schedule going to be like? What's the?
We don't
Is
know
it
yet.
on
It's-
weekly or
it'll
nightly?
Be late night on E, but I'm not sure exactly what the schedule is going to be yet. We are still figuring it out.
Wow.
I would love to do it 7 days a week if they let me.
I know. Right. Well, you're a workaholic. Oh, I might send over a writing sample.
Yeah, send it on over.
I just want to be on air.
Okay. That's
You heard it here, folks.
that's a different thing. But yeah. We don't yeah.
I'll do anything for you, Caissie. Caissie, we love you. I've been wanting to have you on forever.
You.
And you're just so fucking talented and sweet,
That's very kind.
and you're a good business person.
That is very kind, and
It's very true.
I hope you know how much started with you.
Oh, that's so
I'm
means
not
a
even
lot.
joking. I mean, I could count on one hand people that gave me huge opportunities early on, and people that I felt like took me seriously when I was maybe a kid.
Right.
And sometimes I still feel it now. Like I'm
Right.
100 years old, and it's hard to get people to
Right.
take me seriously sometimes.
I'm 150.
And there I was probably 23, 24, and you were like, these ideas are good. These ideas should be on TV. So I hope you know
gonna
that
vomit.
you
Thank you.
You made you made things possible for
Thank
me.
you.
And I can imagine that if you did it for me, you'd done it for 1 million other people.
I have. I mean, I hate to say that, but
me too. Yeah. She's
Right?
helped me.
but I
Absolutely, yeah.
when's the karma gonna come back?
Girl, I just want,
Yeah.
mean, and also
kidding.
let me tell you this about Judy Gold. I know she's trying to wrap this up, but I just need to say I'm not even joking. Besides professional things, also the kind of person who I visited your home in Los Angeles And by the time I got back to my hotel, which I got lost on the way back to my hotel because it was pre-GPS days, I had so many messages from Judy Gold saying, please call me to let me know that you got in okay. I need to know.
Mommy.
And like, I mean, if every 10th person was like that, how much better off would we be?
Oh my God. And how fucking like neurotic.
No, I don't. I mean, listen, maybe
Two things can be true.
Yeah. It's true. Maybe it is neurotic, but also to have someone care, like if you got where you're going alive is a huge deal.
Oh, Caissie St, I love you. All right, we ask our guests 2 things.
Okay.
I'm going to say definitely not.
I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah. We're very pro mental health.
Okay.
We promote anything. No stigma with any depression, anxiety. Have you ever been on any meds?
No.
I knew it. I knew it. But what do you do for your mental health?
A lot of meditation.
Me too.
Self-reflection.
Yeah.
You know, trying to manage things.
What
that
kind of
way.
meditation do you do? I do mindful. Yeah.
Yes, I like that, and I like binaural beats. If you ever listen to
No, what's that?
They're like special tracks that are supposed to like reach certain points in your brain. So there's like you can listen to one that's meant for creativity or relaxation.
And you just sit there, focus on your breath, and listen.
Yeah. Just listen to that.
I'm gonna do that. I want to do
too.
TM, but I want to go to the big guy who does it, teaches you. And Rose said she was going to take me, and now I think she's mad at me.
No.
So yeah, because
we'll work it out.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Well,
I love a flotation tank. Maybe you guys could go float.
Oh, that's
together.
good. I want to hang upside down.
Oh, that would be fun too.
You know, because then the stuff goes to your brain.
Yeah.
All right.
All that kind of
binaural
stuff.
Beats. BINORAL.
I think it's like AU.
NAU. Binaural. I'm binaural, sexual, whatever.
My husband's also convinced that all these Beats programs are like Russian and they're gonna like flip a switch.
Oh, please, Alexa's last name is Kakashapov.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. But in the meantime, before I turn Russian, they're very helpful.
The other thing we always ask, because you've known me for a long time, and I do have a big heart, but I do get so fucking mad over the stupidest things.
Yes.
Which is why the name of this podcast is called Kill Me Now, because I say that about 100 times a day. But what makes you like you want to fucking punch a fucking wall in? What pisses you off the most?
The worst thing that I hate is people's behavior on public transportation.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of like speakerphone phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of eating.
Yeah,
like,
that I don't get.
Whatever the fuck you want. A lot of letting your kid watch a TV show out loud.
Yes.
Video games.
Yeah, and I'm just like, do you think
what is that? Like, I see people walking down the street and it's on speaker.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, no, she said she was, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Everyone's
like,
on
headphone,
FaceTime now.
fucking phone, and fucking phone.
Yes. And a lot of like, so all that like electronic behavior, but also like people take off their shoes.
Yeah.
People.
You're talking about trains, or are you talking about subway?
Well, the subway's not as bad because I think the subway could like harm you if you got too comfortable on it. But like Metro North, people treat it like it's a living room.
Yeah.
And it's insane. And I guess it sort of extends to planes. People are just gross
I know.
inconsiderate. And
I know.
I'm just like, we're all here.
Yeah,
like,
stay
we're
comfortable
all...
like the rest of us. I mean, uncomfortable.
The kids with the fucking, and it's the same song. They're playing a video game and it's like,
insane. But then I see so many like
Candy
like
Crush.
on and on
I see
and on.
so many like 60-year-old men playing Candy Crush.
I know.
And I'm like, you're supposed to hate that. What are you doing?
If you don't know what it is sounds like gunshots.
Yeah,
right, I know.
It's like
Well, the Fortnite one is so fucking annoying.
It's
but
a lot.
I can't stand that. Like that they have no consideration that there's other fucking. And today when I was coming here, like there's two ways to go up the stairs.
Yes.
There's the right and the left,
Yes.
right? And I'm like, what do I pick? And on the left is moving, and the right isn't moving because some fucking woman is walking up the stairs and looking at her phone.
That is the
fucking
worst.
move! Like we're in the fucking subway.
I truly just want to walk through Grand Central with an air horn and beep at someone every time.
That's so funny.
I call it, it's probably not sensitive, but I call it having a phone stroke when
Yeah.
you're like trying to walk.
Oh
but
no, you're going to be
trying
fired
text.
now. She said phone stroke.
No, but you know what I mean? Like it's like
I like it.
Right.
your brain isn't meant to do those
Right.
two things. It's like when the employees at Cracker Barrel have like an earpiece in and their
Right.
manager's talking to them and they're
Right.
also trying to talk
Right,
to you.
yes,
and
yes,
then their
yes.
face just goes like a broken
Glazes
robot.
over.
And you're like, hi, you give them
Hi,
an order
meatloaf.
of, right, you give them an order of 400 things. They're like, I'm sorry, what?
So people you think that you can walk when you're texting on your phone, but you actually cannot, and everyone
Right.
hates you.
Stop phone stroking.
Yeah, I mean, just look up. Or, I don't know. Yeah.
Or die.
Yeah.
Caissie, where can people find you?
People can find me on twitter.com at Caissie, Caissie. I guess my Facebook page is, if you still care about Facebook, is public, so you can follow me there if you want to see weird
Your
things.
Twitter's awesome, though.
Yeah, you're
Definitely follow
you're
me.
great on Twitter.
That's very nice.
And
That's very kind.
and you're great on Facecock. Because I'm not kidding. I only go up to post stuff, but I will read your
Thank you.
you're an excellent writer.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
And
that.
a good manager, and I wish you only good things with this new.
Thank you.
And Judy Gold.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was
busy
just
tonight.
kidding.
Coming to you this fall on E!
And if I ever have my own talk show, will you work on it?
Of course.
Yay!
Try to stop me.
But Eric Kornfeld's going to want to work on it, so you have to, he can work from home.
All right. Give him an office in the basement.
Yeah. Anyway, you're the best. Thank you for doing. I've been dying to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy I got to see you.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Caissie St. Come see me this summer. I'm in Provincetown at the Fart House, also known as the Art House. 9 o'clock on Thursdays.
Well, you'll be there. It's the Fart House.
Yeah. 9 o'clock Thursdays. I think 7 or 7:30 on Fridays. I hate you. And I'm recording an album tonight, so that will be for sale soon, I hope. And do you vote in the Emmys?
Yes.
Okay, can you vote for me for guest star on I'm Dying Up Here?
Yes.
Promise?
Yes.
Because they put me in for
Of course, I
consider.
would without you asking.
Oh,
Everyone
Caissie
who
St.
votes in the Emmys who's
please,
listening,
please.
vote for Judy for I'm Dying Up Here.
All right. Thank you, Caissie.
Thank you for having me. It was so nice to see your face.
Thank you. It's really ugly. Anyway, no, it's not, Judy. Anything, Hennessy, that you have to say?
That meditation seems to be working for you.
Shut the fuck up. All right. And as we always say, so long.
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.